All good.
I see. I know you didn't leave early, so therefore, so if you're here, then people can be here.
Well,
all right.
No tachnun. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. All right. We left off in the bottom of Tzadi Beis. Today's daf is Tzadi Gimel, Pesachas Pesachim. So we left off. We started the Mishnah yesterday, the new parak. So we're talking about a person. The pasuk says a person, if he's tamei or if he's derech rechoika, if he's far away, then he does Pesach Sheni. Right? Then he brings the same Korban Pesach instead of during Nisan. He waits another 30 days the following month and does it then. Right? So then there's a shaila. Let's say someone was away. Right? He was far away, and they went ahead and they were zarek on his behalf. Can it be Yaitse? Is he done? So it was a machlokes between Rav Nachman and Rav Sheshes. Rav Nachman says hurtza, it works, right? And Rav Sheshes says lo hurtza. So 2 lines from the bottom on Tzadi Beis Amud Beis. Amar Rav Sheshes minal minalo. From where do I know this? The tiny we learned in the Brisa. Rabbi Kiva says nemar tamei v'nemar b'derech chayka. It says in the pasuk, it says a person who's tamei, and it says someone who is derech chayka. So we compare the two according to Rabbi Kiva. Top of the page, Shema tamei shesavi biyadolasa is nice. Just like a person who's tamei and he is able to go ahead and do it. In other words, he can have someone else throw it on his behalf, right? Nevertheless, we don't allow him to. So after so to someone's far away, you can't go ahead and basically have them go ahead and do it on his behalf. Therefore, he is also able to do it, and it doesn't work. So we see clearly, Rabbi Akiva says that it doesn't work. A person is there, right? Calls up his friend, hey, offer the Korban Pesach for me. I'll be there later, right? I was just hesitant whether to say that line or not, but we'll soon see later on. So such a case, it doesn't work according to Rabbi Kiva, right? Because he's treating the person like Tommy we don't allow to, so to derech chayka. Rav Nachman, so that's it's a proof for Rav Sheshes. Rav Nachman would say no, it's not a proof. Because Rav Nachman says it works. He says no. Rabbi Kiva the Tommy that goes Rabbi Kiva shita. So the ksaver ain't sheikh the v'zercha tamei sheretz. Because Rabbi Kiva holds a person who's tamei derech tamei tumas sheretz, i.e. he's tamei today on the 14th of Nisan, but tonight I'll be tahor. I'll be able to go ahead and eat the Korban Pesach. So according to Rabbi Kiva, too bad, right? You're tummy now. You can't bring the Korban Pesach. So that's why it doesn't work. However, me, Rav Nachman, I hold like those who argue with Rabbi Kiva, I hold that just like you can go ahead and be shecht and be zarek the Korban Pesach on behalf of somebody who's tummy sheretz because he's going to be fit to eat the night of Leil Seder. So too, someone who's there chayka, since I'll be fit, I'll be back in time to go ahead and eat the Korban Pesach. Therefore, go ahead and shechla for me, even though I'm still right now in Tel Aviv. Fine. Taner Rabbanan. 6 lines from the top. Taner Rabbanan elu shoysin es hasheni. These are those who go ahead and do Pesach Sheni. Hazavin person he was a zav during Pesach Rishon, v'hazavos, or the women who are a zavos. Or we discussed Zava Gedola, Zava Katana, right? Hamitzayrin, person is a tzaras, or a female was a tzaras. The nidos, woman was a nido, bel nido, person who has relations with the nido, v'hayoledes, a woman gave birth, v'hashagigin, and those who made a mistake, they erred. It wasn't. They made a mistake, let's say in calculation, they didn't know the date, v'anusin, or those people who are completely einus, right? An accident happened that was completely against their consent, or they couldn't prevent it, unpreventable. The hamazin, and people who do it mazit. He missed. He was too lazy. He didn't want to go ahead and do it. The tame and person was tame v'shayad derechayka, and person tame of the derechayka. All these people do Pesach Sheni. So he missed the first for whatever reason. Go ahead and bring Korban Pesach on a month later. If so, why does the pasuk say tame? So imke lamanemar tame lamanemar. Right. So di boy why does it say it? It says, in other words, if a person wants to go ahead and do it, we don't allow him. All right. So the chiddush by Tame is that if he wants to go ahead and bring the Korban Pesach, we do not allow him to go ahead and bring the Korban Pesach. Why does it say b'derech chayka? The paitra karis. Person's far away, he's pater from karis. But the Gemara did not answer that if he was derech chayka, that even if he wanted to do it, we don't allow him. So it must be that if he wants to go ahead and do it in his derech chayka, he's in Tel Aviv, we allow him. So Gemara answers no. Come on, Gomer. So you say over here. So he says, no, come on, Damer Hurtza. No, this must be according to the opinion who holds that it's Hurtza, that if one who is Derech Chayka wants to do it, he could do it, but there are those that argue. Now, Isha b'sheni mi mechayva. Wait, so over here, those who were listed, right? We listed many females, mitzaras, zavos, nidos, right? B'sheni mi mechayva. Are they obligated to go ahead and pesach sheni v'hot time on the right? So yachol lo yei oisin as sheni yelo tami nefesh v'derech chayka. You might think that those only people who do pesach sheni is the ones that listen to Torah, i.e., person who is tamei, or one who is b'derech chayka, who's far away, zavin or mitzarin or balinidos. What about people who are tamei, men who are tamei because they were zav, or they had saras, or they were bal nida, right? Tamei for 7 days. Minayin. How do we know that? Tamaleimar. Therefore, it says ish. It says ish to include these men, right? So it sounds like men do pesach sheni, not women. So our answer is loikash. It's not a contradiction. Ha Rabbi Yosi. One is the opinion of Rabbi Yosi, right? We saw yesterday, right, regarding a woman. Machlokes, the women can go ahead and do Pesach Sheni. So that was Rabbi Yosi and Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Shimon, who argues and say that no, we do not allow them to go ahead and do it. And Tanur Rabbanan, and so we learned. Rabbi Yosi says, right, yeah, fine, and right, and Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Shimon hold that it's only rishus for them; it's not an obligation. So Tanur Rabbanan, Chayiv Kares Al Rishon, Chayiv Kares Al Shein. So now we're going to have a three-way machlokes. Between a person does not do Pesach Rishon or Pesach Sheni, right? He misses both times. So says the Tanna Kama, which is Rebbe, Chayiv Kares Al Rishon, Chayiv Kares Al Sheni. You're Chayiv Kares twice. Now, even though really we only go ahead and give you Kares once, nevertheless, but he is Chayiv for each in time. He's Chayiv Kares. That was the first opinion. Rav Nasan Omer Chayiv Kares Al Rishon, Pater Al Sheni. You're only chayiv kares for the first one, but you're pater if you miss Pesach Sheni. So the kares in the Torah only covers Pesach Rishon, not Pesach Sheni. And Rabbi Chanina ben Akavia Omer, Af ala Rishon eino chayiv kares. Even for the first one, you're not chayiv kares. Elim kei lo asas Sheni, unless you don't do the second one. So the only way you're chayiv kares is if you miss both, right? You miss both. You miss the first one and the second one, then you're chayiv kares. Now. The Ozdol Tamayan, they go l'shitasim. So three machlokes we're going to bring now. The time of the Brisa, Gershon is Gayer ben Shnei Psachim. You have the Chen Katan Shehigda ben Shnei Psachim. You have somebody who converted, let's say 2 weeks after Pesach. All right, so he missed Pesach Rishon. He wasn't a Jew, and now does he bring Pesach Sheni or not? Or you have a Katan, someone who becomes Bar Mitzvah. Once again, 2 weeks after, right? 2 weeks after Pesach, right? Everyone always talks about. Svira, Chayiv, Svira, their bar mitzvah titles, right? And so they always, go into this sugya, right? So they can go into the sugya of Karan Pesach. So we see the Chen Kachik could be the Shape Sachin, Chayiv Asas Pesach Sheni. Divrei Rabbi, Chayiv to do Pesach Sheni. That's the opinion of Rabbi. Rabbi Nasan Aimer, Kol Shezakuk L'Rishon, Zakuk L'Shen. Kol Shein Zakuk L'Rishon, Ein Zakuk L'Shen. And Rabbi Nasan says no. Whoever had to do the first one, he's Chayiv in the second one. But if you weren't chayiv to do the first one, i.e., you weren't bar mitzvah yet, or you weren't a Jew yet, there is no obligation to do Pesach Sheni. So, what's the machlokes? Rebbe Savish Shnei Regel Fnei Atzmahu. Rebbe holds as two distinct, different holidays, two different chayuvim. Right? One is not linked to the other. All right. Obviously, if you do the first one, there is no obligation for the second one. But each one is its own independent chiyuv. So, therefore, if you become a Jew in the middle or become bar mitzvah in between, you're chayiv to do it. And Rav Nasan holds, you don't. Then Rav Nasan Savish Sheni Tashlumin Derisha. The second one is only a tashlumin. It's like it's a makeup for the first one. Who? It's Kuni the Rishon Lemisakinle, right? So he holds that it's for the second one, and therefore it goes ahead and it could fix up the second one. So therefore, when we said earlier, right, Rav Nasan's shita was right. Your chayiv kares al rishon patal sheni. In other words, even though it's a tashlumin, it doesn't fix it. In other words, if you miss the first one, but you do the second one, you still chayiv kares for missing the first one, right? But you still are obligated to do the second one, but there's no chayiv kares there. Rabbi Chanina ben Akavia saver, right? I was about to say Rabbi Chanina ben Akavia. All right, fine. All right, Rabbi Chanina ben Akavia saver shnei takanasa. Sheni, the second one, takanasa the rishon who. No, it is a takan. It does fix it. And therefore, if I miss the first one, if I do the second one, I'm putter from the first one. So the second, not only is it linked to the first one, but it can fix it. All right. It's a tikkun. So therefore, according to him, if I miss the first one, but I do the second one, no more kares. I save myself from kares. The shleish tam nikarecha darshan, they all darshan from the same pasuk. right? The pasuk is brought. Those who have the article, the other Gemaras, the pasuk on the side with the Torah Shalom. So it says over there. I'm just going to look at the pasuk over there. I'm just looking for a second. Which is a darshan out. It says Va'ish Asher Hu Tahor, someone who's Tahor Ubaderech Loya, right? He was Tahor or he wasn't traveling. V'chodol Asas HaPesach, and then he didn't do the Korban Pesach. V'nichrasa HaNefesh Shahi Mi'amel. He's cut off. He gets kares. That's clear. That's no one disagrees with the pshat of the pasuk. Then it says, "Ki korban Hashem lo hikri b'moado," because he did. Or it says, "Ki." Well, define what ki means. Korban Hashem, a korban of Hashem, the korban pesach lo hikri b'moado. He didn't go ahead and offer it. Chato yisa ishahu. Therefore, this person will carry this chait. Now, that's the pasuk. So Darsha says, "Ba'isha hu tahor u'derech lo haya." It says a person was tahor and he wasn't traveling. So Rabbi Saver v'chadol asos haPesach v'nichrasa. Right, and then it says he didn't go ahead and bring the korban pesach, and he gets kares the law of rishon. That means he didn't do the sheni inami, right? Or korban Hashem lo hikri b'moado. Then it says, right, that he didn't bring a korban Hashem. That's b'sheni. That's referring to the second one. So according to Rebbe, right, the second part of the pasuk, ki korban Hashem lo hikri b'moado, is referring to Pesach Sheni. The first part of the pasuk was referring to Pesach Rishon. He didn't bring it then, and the second part of the pasuk was he didn't Pesach Sheni, and then it says he gets. Then he gets a chait for not doing the second one. Umimai chato yisa karisu. And where do we see that he should carry a chait? Right, he carries a chait. He is karisu. So ksaver, why? He learns that from another case. Turn the page. Ksaver megadef hainu mevarach Hashem. We know, or not? We know. There's a machlokes as to what exactly is megadef, right? Where it says over there. So it's the same as mevarach Hashem. Cursing Hashem is megadef, right? So he holds Megadif Hainu Mevarach Hashem. Uksibim Mevarach Hashem. It says by Mevarach Hashem V'nasa Cheito. Right, and he has this chait. Right, so it says by Mevarach Hashem. It says he has a chait. Right, and we know Megadif is kares. The Gomer Hai Cheito the Hachav Cheito the Hasam. And we learn since it says over here Cheito by missing Pesach Sheni to Cheito over there by Mevarach Hashem. Malol and Mekares, just like over there, Megadef, which is Kares, and that's the same in Mevarach Hashem. It says over there, Chet. So Afkan Nami Kares, so to over here is Kares. So according to Rebbe, the way he learns the pasuk is we link Gezer Shava to Megadef, which is the same in Mevarach Hashem, the Chayiv Kares, and we learn over here, so to if you miss Pesach Sheni, you are Chayiv Kares. That was first opinion, Rebbe, who holds basically each one is its own Chayiv. Reb Nassan Saver, Reb Nassan holds, it says, no, the chodol le'asais haPesach v'nichrasa. Yes, the first part says is that he doesn't bring the first car, the Pesach Rishon, and he gets cut off. V'nichrasa the high. Then it says the high key. Excuse me. The high key. The word key is lashon daha. Who? The word key isn't another part referring to Pesach Sheni. Rather, it means because. It's explaining. It's all still going on Pesach Rishon. So it says over there. It says ki lashon dahu. This one means this is what the pasuk says. Daha korban Hashem lehikrid b'moado. Why is he chayiv kares by Pesach Rishon? So the pasuk explains because he didn't bring the korban Hashem b'moado b'Rishon. It's talking about the Rishon. And hi, Cheta Yisa, my Avida. If that's the case, so what do you do at the end of the pasuk? It says Cheta Yisa, right? We already know it's kares from the beginning of the pasuk. It says V'nichrasa or V'nichrasa nefesh. Excuse me, right? So why does it say V'hai Cheta Yisa? So my Avida. So he says no, Ksaver Megadif Lav Hainu Mevarach Hashem, because he holds Megadif and Mevarach Hashem is two different things, and therefore we don't know the penalty for Mevarach Hashem. The Gomer Hai Cheta the Hasam, the Hai Cheta Mihacha, and therefore we go ahead and learn Mevarach Hashem from over there. Right, in the case of Mevarach Hashem to Archei, Mahacha Kara is just like over there missing the Korban Pesach Rishon. Nechivas Kara is stated explicitly in the pasuk because it says V'nechasa Nefesh Apasam. So over there by Mevarach Hashem, you also get Kares, and therefore Megadev is something completely else. Megadev is not cursing Hashem. And Reb Chananya Ben Akavia Saver, he holds no. The chodol asas a Pesach. He learns very similar. He says no. If you didn't go ahead and bring the Korban Pesach V'nechasa, then you get cut off. In other words, if you don't go ahead and bring the Pesach Sheni, in other words, he holds, like we said earlier, it's a tikkun, right? So therefore, you didn't bring the first one, and you're chayiv kares if you don't go ahead and bring b'moado, which is during Pesach Sheni. If that's the case, we don't need a chayta yisa because there's only one kares. The kares is just linked to the first one. So therefore, why do we know b'nichras? So why is that a chayta yisa? Like I said earlier, in a case that we learn it, basically we link it to teaching us that Mavarchas Hashem is also chayiv kares. Hilkach, therefore, hazid bezeh ubizeh. If mazid, he does it, he's there in Yerushalayim, he doesn't care. He doesn't bring a Korban Pesach during Nisan. He doesn't bring it during Iyar, right? Divrei hakol chayiv. Everyone agrees he has chayiv kares. Everyone agrees. Rabbi Nassan, Rabbi Chananya, shogog b'zeh uv'zeh. If he's shogeg in both, divrei hakol pater. Everyone holds his pater for kares because you never get kares for a shogeg. So hazid berishon. If you knowingly, right, missed the first one, the shagah b'sheni, then it was an accident, and the second one, he was mistaken. So the Rabbi Nassim, according to Rabbi, who holds his own chiyuv, and Rabbi Nassim says it's his own chiyuv, but the second one, it really is tashlumin, but it doesn't fix it. So since you're amazing on the first one, you're chayiv kares. Rabbi Chanani ben Akav Pater, he says you're pater. Why? Because the second one is a tikkun for the first one, and you're shagag, right? For whatever reason was that you were shagag, why you didn't fulfill the second one. And Barishon Shagu Barishon Vehezi B'Sheni. If he was shogeg on the first one, but B'Mezid he didn't do the second one, then Rebbe Chayiv, according to Rebbe Chayiv, why? Because the second one is its own mitzvah, and he was Hazid B'Zeh, and therefore he's Chayiv Kares. But according to them, then you're pater because both those are both tashlumin for the first one, and therefore, since the first one he was shagag, therefore he would be pater from Kares. Fine. Now your Mishnah. Mishnah says, middle of the page at Tzadi Gimel Amud Beis, Eizehi derech rechaika. What is considered to be derech rechaika? Talking about derech rechaika. Is it Chicago? Where is it? Is it Europe? Mean ha modiim ulachutz, right? From modiim, right? Is the Shem Ha'ir? Is Rashi says, right? I'm not sure where it correlates back to the time then, but from modiim ulachutz, from there and further, we'll soon see the distance of that is ukmidas lecharuch, and the same distance modim to Yerushalayim is this basically all the way around. It goes in a circle all around L'charuach. Divi Rabbi Akiva, that's the opinion of Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Eliezer, Aimer, Mi'is Kaifes ha'azara u'lechutz, right? From the edge of the azara and outside. Basically, der chayka means even in Yerushalayim, if you're outside the azara, if you could not come within the azara the entire day, we'll soon see, then you are considered to be der chayka. And now Rabbi Yossi, and Rabbi says, Rabbi Yossi, I have a proof. Therefore, nikud al Hashem. Therefore, there's dots in the Torah over the word Hashem. Leimar lo mipnei sharachik vada ela b'yiskafes hazari l'chutz. Doesn't mean that he's too far. It doesn't literally mean that he's too far, i.e., he's in Tel Aviv, right, or hundreds of miles away. Rather, it means he's far, meaning far from the Azar. Fine. That was the Mishnah. Let's see the Gemara. Second wide line. Amar Ula. So he says, "Midonli Yerushalayim chamishim asar milin havi." It must be modim to Yerushalayim is 15 mil. Why? So Savarlaki he holds like this: the Amar Rabbi Rechana Rabbi Yechanan kamam halichadam b'yayim. How far does a person walk during a day? Asara parsos. Right? He walks 10 parsa. Right? Which is right. We're going to go through this calculation in a minute. Which is so it's 4 mil per a parsa, and therefore, if it's 10 parsos, therefore it's 40 mil. So you can walk 40 mil in a day. Now, from dawn till sunrise, right? You know, we talk about 72 minutes, whatever it is, from dawn till sunrise. A person can walk 5 mil. All right. So you can walk 5 mil from dawn till the sun actually comes up till sunrise. And then from sunset until the stars come out, right? Also another period of time similar to that. That's also 5 mil. So the time to take to walk from dawn to sunrise and from sunset to each one is 5 mil. So pashalahu, if you have 40 the entire day, and you take out 5 in the beginning, i.e., from dawn until sunrise, and 5 at the end, from sunset until the stars come out. So Pashlu Talasin. Therefore, he leaves yourself 30 mil. Now, and Chamisa mitzafra lepalga diyam, Chamisa mipalga diyam leorta. And therefore, basically, if you have the rest of the day from sunrise to sunset is 30. So therefore, from sunrise to noon is 15. And from noon till the evening, till sunset is also 15. So it takes 15 mil, right, to walk. All right, excuse me. One could walk 15 mil from noon until sunset. And therefore, right, if one is farther than 15 mil, right, let's say 16, he would have to leave before. So Ula, and Ula goes to Shitasa, to Amar Ula, Ezi der Chayka was considered to be der Chayka too far, that you're pater, Kol Shen Yachal Ikanis B'Shas Shchita, right? You can't enter B'Shas Shchita. In other words, when does this man of Shchita start? Ben Arbayim, afternoon, noon, right? So in other words, wherever you are, if you start walking then and you can make it to Yerushalayim, that's not considered to be too far. And you can only walk 15 mil. So therefore, if you're farther than 15 mil, you're 16 mil away, you're 20 mil away, that's too far, because if you leave at noon, right, you're going to come too late in the Zman. So therefore, according to Ula, the Zman is 15 mil, the distance. And that was and that was the distance of Modim. Now, Omar, how do you know? You just said earlier that from dawn until sunrise is 5 mil. The pasuk says, so it says over there, right, from the dawn, right, when they left, right, he left with the malachim. This is by Lot, and it says there, Hashemesh yatzal aretz velot ba'tzara, right. So he says he was by tzar at sunrise. So he left at dawn, and he got to the town of the area of Tsar. I saw the place where he was, and that was 5 mil. So we see that he left at dawn, and he got at sunrise 5 mil away. So therefore, we see that one can walk during the time of 5 mil. So Gufa. Right? What is der chayka? That is a person, he cannot go ahead and make it. If he leaves, he cannot go ahead and make it during the zman of the shchita. So if he leaves at noon, right, he has to get there before sunset, i.e. 50 mil. Rabbi Yehuda, Amar, kol shein yachal likanes b'shas achila. If he leaves and he can't make it to Yerushalayim in time to eat the Karban Pesach, which would be much later. So Amar lei, Rabba Ula. So says Rabba Ula, Ladidcha Kasha or Rav Yehuda Kasha. Says, I understand. According to you, it's going to be a Kasha, and according to Rav Yehuda, it's a Kasha. Why? Ladidcha Kasha, according to you, it's a Kasha. The Marty said earlier, Kol Shein Yachal Likanis B'Shas Shchita. You just said if you can't make it during the Zman of Shchita, right? You just said the important thing is a person has to, if he's too far, right? That means he's too far to make it during the Zman of Shchita, i.e. he has to get there before sunset. So a person who's tamei sheretz, right? He's tamei for the day until sunset, and after sunset, he's right. He's okay. So a person who's tamei sheretz, he can't enter during his man shchita. They come out to sheikh them tamei sheretz, and you say nevertheless we're allowed to go ahead and do the shchita and zrika for a person who's tamei sheretz. In other words, we can go ahead and offer for him, and he can eat it at night. So why is that any different than a person who's derech chayka who can't make it for this man shchita? Let's go ahead and shechta for him and do the zrika, and then it'll be okay at night. And the opposite question by Rav Yehuda. Rav Yehuda Kasha also, Damar kol shein yachal likana b'shas achila. Whoever can't go ahead and enter the shas achila. In other words, he's too far to make it, even to eat the Karban Pesach at night. I've had tamei sheretz. The yachal lechanes b'shas achila. That person is tamei sheretz, right? He's able to go ahead and make it to shas achila, i.e., because he's going to be tahor at night. The comment and you hold ein sheikh them zerka tamei sheretz. You say too bad, even though you're going to make it at night, right? It's no good, right? Oh, one second. I don't know what that happened. Sorry about that. So we say ein sheikh them zerka tamei sheretz. So he said, to do the shechita or the zrika for a person's tamei sheretz. Well, why is that? As long as he's okay at night, who cares? Why can't you do the shechita and zrika for tamei sheretz? Because he'll be able to eat at night. So he answers, no, lo the didi kasha, lo le Rav Yehuda kasha. No, not a kasha either one. Le didi le kasha. For me, it's not a kasha. Why? Derech rechoika l'tohar. Derech rechoika l'tamei. That which we said, derech rechoika, it was only referring to a person who's tahor. Right? A person who's tahor, there is no issue of tuma, and therefore it just makes a difference where he is. When you're tamei, we don't care what it is. You're not allowed to be involved. So therefore, there's no patura of derech chayka only for a person who's tahor. So therefore, if you're derech chayka, but you're tahor, right? That's referring to him. But when the person was Tomei, I go and send it. That, according to Ula, is not a kasha. There's not a ptur in that. And then Ula on top of the page, Ula Huda kasha. Also going to have Huda kasha. Why? Tomei sheretz. You're going to say Tomei sheretz. You can go ahead. You should be able to bring it because just like a person can walk and get there at night, and that's not considered to be derech chayka. So the person says Tomei sheretz. He can eat at night. That should be okay. So he says no. Tomei sheretz. Rachman adachia. The Torah pushes him off. The pasuk says ish kiyet tamei lenefesh. Right? It says when a person's tamei lenefesh, milos kinan shechal shvi shalozias ber Pesach. Did we not already establish talking about a case of where he became Torah and erev Pesach? The Torah says push it off. You're not allowed to do it. So therefore, now even though he'll be able to go ahead and be Torah at night, the Torah says if you're tamei on the day of the 14th. We push it off, which is different than derech chayka. If you're far enough, but you can make it for the eating of the Karban Pesach, then you are not a pater, and therefore you should go ahead and walk and make your way to Yerushalayim to eat the Karban Pesach at night. All right, we'll stop here. Shkoyach, everybody. Everybody have a wonderful day and drive safely. Take care. Be well. Shkoyach.